more ball, fewer infractions. This begins in 2020. The future is near. More access, more everyone, more everything.
July 24th,
This is our moment.
Sure,
Our story
November 22.
to tell. This is history begun. This is the XFL.
What is up, my friends, and welcome to another edition of the XFL Week in Review. I am your host, The Mark, and on this week's show, the XFL Trademark's Pro Football Advisory Board. What? We'll get into that. Trent Richardson not giving up yet, some more XFL hires, and so much more. So what's up, everybody? How do you get in touch with the show? That's what you want to know. You email podcast@xflnewshub.com with your MP3s or thoughts, or just use the Twitter hashtag XFLArmy. Cutoff time is 5 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays. Remember to leave us a review on iTunes and we'll read it on the show. Need those reviews on iTunes to get the word out of the XFL Week in Review. Now, question of the week. Give us your funniest XFL team names. We got some good ones. You want to stick around for that. Next week's question is a regular, just kind of a sports question. Who is the worst sports cities? The worst sports cities, because everybody's talking about XFL franchise. They don't even have team names yet, but they're talking about who's going to be where expansion would come. And we assume that if everything goes well, they'd expand. So we kind of want to know, who are the worst sports cities? I have my number one. It is guaranteed to be the number one. But I want to hear what you guys have to say. So check out that. Remember, we got an iPhone app out there and an Android app. You can download those. Remember, you can listen to me in Dallas radio if you're in the Dallas area at 1160 AM KBDT. Sports Day with John Clemens at Saturdays and Sundays. You can check out that. Listen to our conversation about everything XFL. So without further ado, folks, let's just get in the week that was the XFL. As fans anxiously await news of the XFL team name announcements, a quick search on any new Alpha Entertainment trademark request brought up something a little different this past week. Alpha is the parent company of Vince McMahon that owns the XFL. Pro Football Advisory Board came up in a search for under Alpha Entertainment's trademark request. Here's what the filing states. Entertainment services, namely providing a website that displays requests, reviews, recommendations, rankings, votes, polls, and surveys for users in the field of football. Providing a website featuring information in the field of football, providing an internet web portal in the field of football, non-downloadable electronic publications in the nature of blogs, podcasts, surveys, polls, newsletters, and videos in the field of football. Providing a website for conducting polls and surveys and providing and receiving feedback from users in the field of football. Publication and presentation of reviews, polls, surveys, recommendations, and ratings. Providing interactive websites and computer applications for the posting and sharing of reviews, surveys, recommendations, and ratings relating to football. Website and online portal for providing information, news, commentary in the field of football, whereas users can vote, rate, and comment on the football items posted. Computer services, namely creating an online community for users to search for and participate in discussions and surveys, get feedback from their peers, form virtual communities, and engage in social networking services in the field of football. You notice the trend in the field of football. Downloadable software in the nature of mobile applications for displaying information relating to reviews, recommendations, rankings, votes, polls, and surveys for users in the field of football. Downloadable software in the nature of user search, post, access information related to football. Software, downloadable computer stuff. You kind of get the gist. Online social networking services provided through a football community website, online social networking service in the field of football. So what does this all mean? Well, the trademark was submitted by Christopher M. Verdini. He's the same person who submitted the 5 XFL Seattle team names a while back. Looks like the XFL is getting into football news business, having a football news site related to more than just XFL news. Maybe they're building their own sports network. Maybe this is where fans could vote on the XFL team names, which some people might think that this is what it's all about. We're not quite sure about this, but for those who are thinking of, hey, let me jump the gun and buy the domain name Pro Football Advisory Board, a quick Whois search reveals that it is taken. Not really sure what is up with the Pro Football Advisory Board. Leave us a comment and let us know what you think. Trent Richardson, who previously played in the NFL, CFL, and AAF, recently spoke his heart and mind when he said he will never give up on his football dream. He's looking to play in the XFL in 2020. Richardson recently attended one of the XFL Summer Showcase tryouts where he said the following, quote, "I have a chip on my shoulder just to prove to myself and to keep showing myself and my kids that I'll never give up and I'll always follow my dreams." It was in 2012 that Trent Richardson, who was the third overall pick in that year's NFL draft, began his NFL career with the Cleveland Browns. During his first season with the Browns, Richardson ran for 950 yards on 267 carries and 11 touchdowns. Not bad for a rookie. But just in his second season, Richardson was traded to the Indianapolis Colts. During his time with the Colts, Richardson ran for 977 yards and 6 touchdowns on 3.1 yards per carry, but that didn't last long for him and didn't last much long in the NFL. He spent some time with the Oakland Raiders and Baltimore Ravens, and he was let go from the league. In 2017, Richardson had a short stint with the Saskatchewan Roughriders in the CFL, and then later he would join the AAF's Birmingham Iron until the AAF folded in 2019. Be interesting to see where I would assume Richardson will make it in the XFL. He wasn't that great in the AAF. I mean, we need to settle down. He is a big name. But we'll see where he winds up and if he has an impact in the XFL in 2020. According to a report by Pro Football Scoop, former James Madison head coach Mickey Matthews will be joining the XFL Dallas staff under head coach Bob Stoops. Matthews will reportedly be on the defensive side of the ball, coaching the outside linebackers. Matthews was head coach at JMU, a Division 1A school, 1AA school, so it's just below the regular NCAA football, for 15 seasons from 99 to 2013. Finished with a record of 109 and 71. His best season came in 2004 when JMU won their first Division 1AA national title over Montana. He's best known for his 2010 win when the Dukes upset number 13 ranked Virginia Tech in Blacksburg. If you don't know, my brother is a Hokie and lives in Blacksburg, so Hokie blood. I remember this when this happened. I was stunned because I also have a friend that went to James Madison too, which is up the road. I mean, far up the road, but up the road. And that year, James Madison finished 6-5. Matthews had coaching stops in Kansas State, West Texas State, UTEP, Houston, TCU, Southwest Texas State, Marshall, and Georgia. He also is defensive coordinator at Coastal Carolina, Southwest Texas State, which we mentioned earlier, and Marshall. With 7 months until the official kickoff of the 2020 season, ramping up interest and getting the word out is critical for the league's growth. All of Vince McMahon's money won't last long if ticket sales and interest are slow. That is why the XFL team presidents are taking a little different approach to gain interest and some attention. Getting out there and meeting the people is their mission. The approach was first started by XFL's Los Angeles team president Heather Brooks Carrots. And on a June 6th invite, she invited XFL LA fans to Buffalo Wild Wings for a meet and greet, to talk fans about the upcoming season and answer some questions. On June 19th, both Carrots and XFL head coach Winston Moss met up with fans at Legends in Long Beach, California, just prior to the XFL showcase in that area. But not to be outdone, on July 17th, XFL Houston team president Brian Michael Cooper met with fans at a Buffalo Wild Wings for a Q&A in Houston. Expect more of this in the coming months from other XFL team presidents as we get closer to the season. Now, this innovative meet the people approach was honed by one XFL CEO, Oliver Luck, during his days as team president of the Reign Fire and NFL Europe. The Fire was considered one of NFL Europe's most successful teams as far as fan appeal and interest, thanks in part to Luck's similar approach of meeting the fans and being accessible. That success for Luck led to him being named the NFL Europe League president, a position he held for 9 years. So the XFL is truly a grassroots league. So from team president meets and greets to the XFL Summer Showcase Chalk Talks, the XFL is growing its brand one football fan at a time. Now, with other professional leagues keeping their fans at a distance, the XFL is capitalizing on that disconnect and using that fact to build a great and long-lasting spring football league. With the final XFL Summer Showcase complete, the 8 XFL franchises are gearing up for some team announcements and player signings. We're waiting for that. One issue that needs to be finalized before any practicing can begin is where will they practice? One team, XFL DC, America's team, is in the middle of that process right now. Initially, we heard the XFL DC franchise was going to practice near RFK Stadium in Washington, D.C., but it seems like those plans may have changed. XFL DC team president Eric Moses, XFL senior vice president of football operations Doug Whaley, and head coach Pep Hamilton has made the rounds looking at a couple of other potential practice facilities. Those locations were Bowie State University and the University of Maryland. XFL DC will be playing their games at Audi Field. Now, RFK Stadium is located about 2 miles east of the U.S. Capitol building near the west bank of the Anacostia River and near the D.C. Armory. It wasn't really the nicest area. It opened in 1961. It's about 3 miles from Audi Field. Bowie State University, not Bowie, is located in Prince George's County, Maryland, north of Bowie. It's about 22 miles from Audi Field, so that's a lot farther. And the University of Maryland is located in College Park, Maryland. I actually lived there for a little while. It is 13 miles from Audi Field. Again, with traffic, that's a whole other ball game with the Beltway 495. Also, Eric Moses gave fans an update at the XFL DC office space that they're looking into. They're looking at office space. They're looking at places to practice. So February kickoff is only 8 months away and teams are ramping up. The XFL draft is only 4 months away in October. So expect more of these type of where they're practicing, office space for the teams. Expect more of these to come in the coming days. All right, we'll be back with your social media stuff, email, and comments right after this. Stay tuned. Listen up, XFL News Hub fans. We got something for you. We have an Android app for your phone. That's right. We're excited to announce the launch of this app, and best of all, it is free. So you get all the breaking XFL news and information from XFL News Hub right on your phone. All you have to do is visit the Google Play Store, type in XFL or near the top, or just search for XFL News Hub. That's right. In the Google Play Store, that's all that you need to do. So what do you get with this app? You get the latest news from XFL News Hub, the premier XFL news source in the world, in the universe. You get push notifications when we post a new story. That's optional. You turn that on and off so you get notifications when breaking news happens. You can leave a comment right from your phone. You don't have to be on the website. You just leave it right on your phone. You can get, of course, this podcast on your phone as easy, and you can leave us a review on the Google Play Store. You can do that too. Plus links to all of our social media accounts. So it's very simple. Just head over to the Google Play Store, type in XFL News Hub, and download your XFL News Hub app for the Android phone today. All right, we are back. Remember, we got the question of the week. Give us your funniest XFL team names. We'll get into those in a second. And of course, next week's question, worst sports cities. I have the number one answer. I'm just looking for people to agree with me because we're thinking, because the XFL is getting super hot right now. And the team names are going to really push things over the top, especially with the NFL season kicking off. Fans are going to want to already talking expansion. So I'd be curious what cities we need to stay away from when it comes to that. So worst sports cities, give us that next week. On to the Twitters first, where the XFL Army is strong. 2020 hindsight 3 says, talking about last week's show, said all the major XFL news is happening during NFL training camps, the preseason and regular season, player signings, team schedules, uniform releases, league rules, book, the draft, and training camp. So he thinks that everything is just going to happen during NFL training camps, and there's nothing we can do about it, and that's the way it will be. I was hoping that this is super dead sports talks time right now. The room is ready to be blown up. The XFL could hit it. We still have a couple more days before NFL training camps start, but even that now, you're already starting to see players getting hurt and talk of other things and people getting cut. So the juice is leaving the building, and we're getting towards the end of the month. The Alpha K says, could XFL 2020 be setting up talking about the Trademark thing that we got going on, be setting up a platform that would be the ultimate fan engagement and experience. Big shout out to XFL News Hub for the article. Thank you, the Alpha K. This could be. Is it going to be for team names? I mean, message us, podcast at XFL News Hub. Do you think this kind of just kind of came out of nowhere? I mean, from what it sounds like, are they going to try to maybe, here's a throwing a deep ball. This is me throwing it out of the stadium like Kansas City Chief quarterback Patrick Mahomes. Did you see that? Did you see when he threw it out of the stadium? Here's me throwing a Patrick Mahomes. I hate when people in the media call him Pat Mahomes, like you're friends with him. Get out of here. Patrick Mahomes throwing it out of the stadium. What if this is a platform? Now, again, you have, I don't know. Let's just throw it out there. A platform where you have spring league games, potential CFL games, Arena Football League, and XFL all under one platform. Hey, Vince has done it before with the WWE Network. I mean, they have Barroom, whatever, the Barroom Live or whatever, that Barstool Sports deal. That's out there. I've used it on my Roku. Not super impressed. Again, the NFL WWE Network isn't that great, but to have something like that would be an interesting platform where you could get all your football stuff in one spot, and then they can make money off of that too. McMahon knows what he's doing when it comes to that. Steve, 7 bunch of numbers, man, talking about Trent Richardson. Man, I hope not. He was great in AAF and still has gas in the tank, so I hope he makes it in XFL. Dude had been through a lot, including getting screwed by the AAF. True, when he was getting his career back on. Godspeed, Trent. Get it, sir. XFL. So he wants Trent back. We'll see. But agreed. I mean, the AAF had just started. And you know what I mean? Like, give Trent Richardson a full year now in the XFL. I'm rooting for the guy. I'm rooting for him. JSU 92. Are you going to talk about any young talent coming to the XFL? Yeah, we are. We're going to get to the young guys, but I don't want to start speculating on guys that haven't even been signed yet. I mean, there's talk out there of, well, this player could make a good player. Like, the guys that are out there right now are going to make up. I mean, if you think about out of 800 players, 200 might be signed right now in the next month, maybe. Are those all going to be superstars? I don't know. A lot of them guys have yet to be cut in the NFL, so we'll see. But we're going to get all over the young talent that's potentially coming once we see some guys who are actually signed by the XFL. That's the key. And we haven't heard anything about that yet. Libra King says, better get those team names out there ASAP. I've been saying that too. And let's see, at A Football World 1, our buddy John checking in. No, talking about the team names. We have an article out there if you want to check out a fan's frustration over the lack of XFL team names. It's on XFL News Hub. He said, no, I think those that are frustrated are simply simple-minded and missing the big picture. I mean, you want to do it right. And I understand all this stuff. It's just, we're excited. That's all. We're just excited. Let's hit over up onto the comments on YouTube. We'll get some team names here. First, Adam June talking about last week's episode. Of all the players who may be possible, except Tom Brady is not possible, who could be the number 1 pick in the XFL draft? Should QBs be able to be signed separately, like Bob Stoops with Landry Jones? Or if Kevin Hogan gets cut by the Broncos, Pep Hamilton coached him in college? Well, that's an interesting point. I think that part I don't know yet, but I have a feeling if it's the first season, I would kind of let the coaches have the guys they want. We want play on the field good more than anything else. So if Landry Jones enters the fray and works with Mark Trestman and they never worked before and it doesn't work out, versus Bob Stoops working with Landry Jones, it would kind of be a better fit. My guess is that they're going to have a gentleman's agreement of who's going to be whose quarterback going forward, because I think a lot of these coaches are going to take guys that they're familiar with, at least the first season. Adam also has a name for us, the Seattle Suppositories as a team name. Vicky, Trevor Siemian will be in the XFL as a starting quarterback. D's MF and Nuts says, any word on them team names and unis? Nothing there. Endor says, Manziel is a big loser, talking about Johnny Manziel a while back. Spider Smith, Tampa will be the best team with the best quarterback. Mark Trestman knows what he's doing in the CFL. I'll give you that. Donald Long says, where are the team names and apparel yet? I'm rooting for my St. Louis XFL squad, in which I'll be joining soon. So everybody's ready to jump on the bandwagon of XFL gear and team names. So we got Seattle Suppositories. We'll get to some more of these funny team names. Dave _Demiri says, how about Seattle? He says, well, I love my city, but he's got a couple. Seattle Needles. Space Needle, but other needles. Seattle Junkies. Apparently there's a drug problem in Seattle. Mark Galatilio says New York, New Jersey Generals, 5-star. Lauderdale High Football says the St. Louis Saints. And Figures says Sean. I don't know what Sean is, if that's a funny name. I don't know. I'm going to go with the St. Louis Saints. And then you can have a guy, like a mascot named Louis Saints. Kind of like that one. That's a decent one. What do you guys think? Email us podcast at XFL News Hub. On to the Facebooks, talking about some notable players in the AAF St. Louis. Zach says, idea I floor for the funniest XFL team names is St. Louis Glorias, in reference to the St. Louis Blues Stanley Cup winning run. I think it will go over quite well. Interesting name there. About ESPN and Fox using existing media personalities to enhance their XFL coverage. Who are they going to pick? Matthew Berry was a picture there. I don't like Matthew Berry. I'm not a big fan of ESPN in general, but I followed him for a while and I was like, he sucks. Anyway, John says they become Chuck E. Cheese's, where they just give token jobs. They don't care about the personality, hence why are they getting their asses kicked by YouTube? Ooh. Interesting. John taking a shot there. About XFL team presidents promoting the new league, one fan at a time, that we wrote about. Scott says, be a lot easier to get behind a team if we knew the damn team names. See, folks, that's what I'm talking about. This is what I get all the time. Fans are starting to get frustrated. Check out our article, XFL News Hub, about fan frustration that our man Sean did. It's a great article. You should take a read on that. We threw up something that was really funny on the social medias. When are those XFL team names coming with Joe Rogan? The Dave Chappelle crackhead guy. Remember that? If you haven't seen it, just check us out on Facebook. XFL News Hub. Dan says, just give us the damn names already. Bobby. OMG, it just hit me. The St. Louis Archers. OMFG. Brian says, for real, come on, Seattle Surge. And Billy says, Dallas, anything not Wild West related. Interesting. Kind of with you there. About Trent Richardson not giving up on we have on the Facebook. Randall says, hopefully he's learned the difference in running away and not running towards the clogged holes. Ouch. I mean, he did score a lot of touchdowns in the AAF, but it was like he had like 30 carries and like 10 touchdowns or something. But maybe that's how they were using him. I don't know. On to the emails. First, we got Damon checking in. He says, hello, my name is Damon. Bleep. I won't give that full names. I appreciate it. Very excited about the 2020 inaugural season. When can I expect to see tickets and seat pricing? Yeah, haven't seen anything about that stuff yet. Here, the prices, ticket prices will be nice and low and family affordable. They've talked about that many a times. how that all works. I mean, they're still hiring people to answer these questions. I don't know, but as a season ticket depositor, if that's even such a word, is that a word? I just made it up. I'm anxious to see what's out there. At Josh McGuire sent us a message. Any updates on possible team names? We've said that multiple times. When they'll be announced, and a TV deal in the UK. Our friends in the UK want to check out the XFL. I'm not sure, but I'm definitely interested in covering how people outside of the US are able to watch the XFL. Andrew checking in, still hasn't decided who is the number one emailer, the first overall pick in the XFL News Hub draft. He says, hope everyone is having a great day. Here's my list of players that I liked from the St. Louis showcase. Samarji Grant, wide receiver. Donzel Byrd, wide out. Victor Souza, that name has come up before, wide out. Akeem Hunt, running back. Juwan Lewis, RB. Trent Richardson. Austin Allen, Connor Cook, quarterbacks. Grant Branch, Brian Folkerts, Bob Markrow, Elijah Campbell. Those are offensive tackle guys, guards. Elijah Campbell, Trey Dickerson, cornerbacks. Stephon Johnson, Trey Mitchell were safeties. Darian Bass, linebacker. D-liner. Dame Adanye, defensive end. Tank Harris, defensive tackle. Kellen Sulkin, defensive tackle. Guy is a steal. And Johanna Grahafon, defensive tackle, had some off-the-field issues recently. There's one guy that shocked me, didn't get an invite. Sean Oakman, who currently plays for the West Virginia Rough Riders. Maybe that is why. I'm not quite sure. Have a great week, everyone. Andrew, checking in. Now, one thing that was talked about, too, is that the CFL season will be over in time for the XFL draft, if I'm not mistaken. So we could be seeing some CFL guys checking in as well. Finally, our final email, Nicholas getting in at the skin of his teeth, as in, like, I am looking at the email and Nicholas drops an email in, like Landry Jones or Ryan Mallett throwing the deep ball. He said, if I were the XFL, these are the quarterback competition I would be watching. I like this kind of stuff. Cardell Jones, Easton Stick, Chargers. CJ Beathard and Nick Mullins of the 49ers. Jeff Driscoll and Jacob Delagnia, the Bengals. Kyle Allen and Eric Dungy, the Panthers. Davis Webb and Luke Falk and Trevor Simeon for the Jets. Paxton Lynch, Geno Smith, Seahawks. Also, DeAnthony Thomas is a free agent, Bucky Hodges. This is the XFL chance to get some really good playmakers. I love this, Nicholas, and actually I'm going to use this in an article that we will write soon because I think throwing this out there, especially with training camp starting, gives us XFL fans a chance to kind of keep an eye on who's going to be the quarterbacks. I'm looking to go to the first Ravens home game, first Ravens preseason game, and it's funny because I'm going there. And if you're an XFL fan, or you listen to this podcast, definitely hit me up, podcast at XFL News Hub. Would love to hang with some XFL fans, a little tailgate before the Ravens game. But it'd be interesting to, it's like funny because I'm more interested in going to preseason games than ever before because realistically, you would think that the XFL DC is going to be looking at players from the Ravens and Redskins that get cut. So I'm really out there. I'll have my notes, guys that I like, and I'll be very curious of watching NFL Cutdown Day and seeing if some of the guys that I liked from that get cut because I'm like, ooh, they could be part of America's team, XFL DC. But we don't have a team name yet. Maybe when you're listening to this, team names will come out. They're running out of time. We're talking July 24th now. July 31st, the end of the month. I don't know. Anyway, if you want to be on the show, email us, podcast at XFL News Hub. Answer our question. We're sports cities. Really curious. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. XFL News Hub, blowing it up. Plus, remember, you got our Android app on Google Play. You got our iPhone app on iTunes. Download. I know you guys are iTunes people. Download that iTunes app. Remember, leave us a review on iTunes, and we'll read it on the next show. And you can listen to us on iTunes, Spotify, Google, YouTube, TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and Stitcher. So that's it for me, folks. Thanks for listening. Mahalo to all my peeps in Hawaii. Can't wait to go back there. I love me some Hawaii, some Kauai, Hawaii. God bless y'all, and I will see you all. You know how we finish the show. Later.